Good afternoon, villagers. I'm Arnie. This is Pepper Tree Villa, and it is October 2nd, 2019. It is time for your daily dose of Disney. How is everyone doing? I see we already have 4 people in the stream. That's great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. I'm back from our trip to Disneyland Resort and Southern California. Mike, thank you for being here. Zippity Doodad. Patrick, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Patrick, could you give me an update in the stream? Could you please let me know where this and that will be on tonight? I'd like to make sure that I give that a proper shout out. In the meantime, it is October 2nd, and right now there's a few pieces of information here I'd like to make sure that I share with everyone. Oh, Zachary, how are you doing? What time? Okay, thank you, Patrick. Zachary, what time will you be going live? I have you listed as 7 p.m. Is that true? If that is the case, just confirm that and I'll make sure that's done. Absolutely, Patrick. Little darling, thank you for joining. Good to have you here. So like I said, it is October 2nd. This is the day after Epcot's birthday and Walt Disney World's birthday. A lot happened yesterday, but a lot happened on this day too. October 2nd's pretty busy with some significant things, and I want to make sure that I give proper attention to a couple of things here. Perfect. Okay, thank you, Zachary. 1928, October 2nd, 1928. This announcement that I am going to read showed up in an edition of something called the Film Daily. It's kind of like the Hollywood Reporter or Variety. It was a main source of news for the film industry at that time. It was called Disney Makes Sound Cartoon. Walt Disney, who animated many of the Alice cartoons for Winkler Pictures, has completed a cartoon subject in sound. Peerless Exchange will distribute. Of course, they were referring to Steamboat Willie, and that debuted on November 18th. Yeah. Was it? Yeah, November 18th. So I always have to remember that because I confuse it with my mom's birthday, which she's born on the 19th. Sister Pam will be unable to be here today, but she says she loves her PTV. Oh, Mike, thank you for letting me know that. I'm sure she'll let me know what's going on. So that was in 1928, 1950. Now, this may not be Disney itself, but it's kind of related. On this day in 1950, October 2nd, Peanuts, written by Charles Schulz, premiered in 7 U.S. newspapers. As a boy, Charles Schulz was interested in comics and Popeye, and especially those characters that were created by Walt Disney. But back in the 30s, he wrote to Walt Disney and asked for a job, but he didn't get one. Hello, Jeff. How you doing? Good to have you here. So while he didn't get that job, it's probably turned out to be a good thing. It built, it builds character to be rejected sometimes, and everything. Hello, Stacy. Thank you for being here. So yeah, he didn't get the job, but in 1996, here's where it's kind of interesting. He was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's on the sidewalk right next to Walt Disney. So they had quite a camaraderie, I imagine. They did know each other, and I'm sure there was mutual respect. But Charles Schulz started Peanuts on this day in 1950. And then on October 2nd, 1959, another TV show premiered. This was not a Disney show, but instead, it's a little show called The Twilight Zone. It premiered on CBS, and the debut episode was a show called, the episode was called Where Is Everybody? It starred the actor Earl Holliman. Let me read what I have written here. Earl Holliman played a man who finds himself alone in a strange and seemingly deserted town. He is dressed in an Air Force jumpsuit, but does not remember who he is or how he got there. Sensing he's being watched, he wanders the town in hopes of finding another living creature. He finally collapses next to a street crossing and presses a button labeled walk. it is revealed that the walk button is in fact a panic button, and that he's really an astronaut named Mike Ferris who's been confined to an isolation room as part of his training. Of course, that's a common theme with Twilight Zone, just really bizarre storylines, fantastic stuff. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because I was digging around and found a little research about this, and I don't have this confirmed. Hey, D&G, thank you for joining. I don't have this confirmed, but there's apparently in the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, there is a certificate outside the tower's elevators in the building in Florida. Now, here's the thing about it. On that particular certificate, there's a number written 10259. 10259. Could that be just a coincidence, or is it just a hidden Easter egg for October 2nd, 59? See if you can confirm that with me. I'd really like to know if that particular certificate really is there. So anyone watching that goes to the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, pay attention to that. And if you can, shoot me a quick message and let me know and confirm whether or not that certificate is there. Hey, Noah, thanks for joining. Good to have you here. So that's a pretty interesting one about the Twilight Zone. Now, here's another pretty good one. In 1971, on this day, it was the second day that the Magic Kingdom was open. So Walt Disney World opened yesterday in 71, and on this day, the Liberty Square riverboat started sailing for the first time around the rivers of America. And it debuted with Admiral Joe Fowler taking its first trip around the rivers of America. Now, Joe Fowler was the name of the ship, but the ship was named after Admiral Joe Fowler. Joe Fowler was a retired U.S. Navy admiral, and he was responsible for overseeing the construction of Disneyland and Walt Disney World. So they gave him an honor of naming the ship for him at Walt Disney World in Magic Kingdom. And that ship sailed for almost 10 years. And in doing this, finding this out, I did some research and found out about this. Pretty interesting. In late 1980, the riverboat, the Admiral Joe Fowler, was being lifted into dry dock. But it was accidentally dropped from a crane that was lifting it out of the water and putting it into dry dock. The hull was completely destroyed beyond repair. So Walt Disney World decided not to replace the ship, as there were already 2 riverboats, including that one. There were 2 riverboats on the river. So they decided not to replace it simply because, well, they really didn't need 2 riverboats anymore. So they took the ship and they kind of pieced it out, and the steam engine mechanism, all the machinery for the steam engine, were then shipped to Tokyo, and they're now used on the Mark Twain steamboat, a riverboat at Tokyo Disneyland. I actually found that pretty cool, so hopefully you found that interesting as well. I really liked that. Okay, 1983, the day after, 1 year and 1 day after. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Thank you very much. 1 year and 1 day after Epcot had opened, they held the groundbreaking ceremonies for the Living Seas and the Morocco Pavilion. Morocco opened in 1984, and the Living Seas then opened in 1986. But their groundbreaking was on this day in 1983. And speaking of breaking ground, in 2006 at Disneyland, actually, to be more specific, at DCA. Oh, hello, Paul McDonald, thanks for joining. Even more specific than that, Paradise Pier. Now, this area of Paradise Pier is underneath what at that time was called California Screamin' and now is the Incredicoaster. They broke ground after tearing down a building that was there already. Disney Boffins, good to see you. Thank you for being here. But this building had been torn down. It had been, actually it was a couple of restaurants and things, a place called Dips, Trips, and Strips, and another one called Malibu Burritos. But it was kind of to be crass, it was a tacky building. It was very flat. It looked like a normal strip mall anywhere you'd see in Southern California. So it was dull, it was boring, it was flat, no detail to it whatsoever, which was really sad because, of course, Disney is known for their detail. So when they tore that down, they started rebuilding it, and they were building an attraction. On this day, they broke ground for that attraction. It was going to be an interactive attraction coming to Paradise Pier. Well, it was unnamed at that time, but then we found out that it was going to be called Toy Story Midway Mania, and it opened in June of 2008 on the pier. And when it opened, the building was no longer flat and unimaginative. It was beautiful. It was kind of the gingerbread feel of an old Victorian seaside resort. Noah, I have not had a chance yet to see Epcot Forever. I will be doing that tonight with Doug. He and I got home too late to watch any videos on YouTube last night. So, but thank you. We will definitely be watching. So that was Toy Story Midway Mania. The groundbreaking was on this day in 2006. In 2009, the Disney Gallery opened at Disneyland again. It had been closed. It used to be located above Pirates of the Caribbean. They closed that, created what was called the Dream Suite that was used for promotions and things. They give that away as a prize package. You could sleep in Disneyland. Now, it's no longer a suite like that. It is now a restaurant called 21 Royal. It's a very expensive and exclusive restaurant. I have not been there. Yeah, D&G, yes, you did. We actually had dinner with D&G last night. They did keep us out late. So it was a great dinner, though. Very, very nice to spend time with Derek and Gregory. Anyway, the Disney Gallery area, which then became the Dream Suite, is now 21 Royal. The restaurant is very busy. I guess it's a very busy restaurant. However, busy is relative. I think the dinner has 12 people maximum. It's an entire event and costs quite a bit of money. It's over $1,000 kind of thing plate. I think it's maybe $5,000 to $1,500 a person for the dinner. It's very expensive, very exclusive. So that's definitely outside my budget. I will never be doing that unless I kind of come across some kind of money. But at which time I would love to vlog the experience, but apparently video cameras are not allowed in the space. Rosie Wren, thank you for being here. Good to see you. Okay, so that was the Disney Gallery opened. It's now in the former area that was the Bank of Main Street, which had been Bank of America. But the store at that time when it opened, it was called the Disney Gallery. It was renamed and is now back to being called Disneyana, which is what the store's name was on Main Street when it was originally there. And then in 2016, yeah, $15,000 for a maximum group of 12. That's what I thought it was. 2016, the Muppets arrived at Magic Kingdom in a new show called Great Moments in American History. 2 different versions of the show. They're repeated multiple times a day outside the Hall of Presidents. Apparently, that show is going away or has already gone away. It's kind of sad. Kind of sad. I have not had a chance to see it in person. I've seen the videos of it. It's very, very charming, very cute. Danny, thanks for being here. So that's pretty much the history for the Daily Dose for history. Now, let me go ahead and tell you what's going on tonight. 7 p.m. and 7 p.m. East, 4 p.m. Oh, Danny, it's always a pleasure to have you here. By the way, I'll be mentioning Two Real Geeks in just a bit, and there's a reason for that. Lovely. Let me go ahead and continue here with the calendar of what's going on. At 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, Zachary Pollock will be doing a show tonight. Zachary's show is going to be based on Epcot Forever. I guess he wants to discuss the show and what people think. So go ahead and join him there. And if you're looking for choices as what show, we have choices on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. also, 4 p.m. Pacific. Disney Nerd Herders is going to be hosting Mouse Talk tonight. Walt and Melissa will be on their show where they ask lots of questions, kind of like an X-ray kind of thing. Ray Murdoch's X-Ray was a fake show that was on the Dick Van Dyke Show, and where Robert Petrie was interviewed, and that's the kind of thing that I think it is. So they're going to be interviewing Walt and Melissa of Mouse Talk. At 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, D&G Explorers will be doing Cruise Talk tonight. I'm hoping that they discuss their recent cruise. We heard some stories at dinner last night, and Doug and I were both laughing quite a bit. And also jaw-dropping. It was quite astonishing. So hopefully they'll be sharing some stories tonight. That's on D&G Explorers, Derek and Gregory. So don't miss that one. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And that is on their channel, D&G. And then the next hour at 9 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. To the amazing person on the screen, thank you for giving me my daily dose of Disney history. There's stuff in there I did not know. Mike, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad I could help. I had a lot of fun with this research today. It was a lot of fun. At 9 p.m. tonight on Brandy and Dave, This and That will be coming up with Patrick, Shep, Dave, and Steve, the This and That crew. So they'll be having fun on their channel. And then also at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific is going to be the Theme Park Fix with Two Real Geeks and Miguel, the annual pass holder. Now, Two Real Geeks usually it's just Danny on the show, but tonight Jess is going to be on the show as well with Danny and Miguel. And there's a reason for that. It is Danny and Jess's 9th anniversary. So everyone wish them a very happy anniversary. If not here in the stream, go ahead and sit out there and send out a tweet or post a picture on something on Instagram or something and just wish Danny and Jess a very happy 9th anniversary. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Danny, happy anniversary. So they're going to be discussing, I'm guessing that they might discuss their wedding because they happen to get married in a theme park. They got married actually at Playland Park in Rye, New York. So that's pretty darn cool. So again, that's Theme Park Fix tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. That is it for the, that's it for my daily dose that I have today. I should get back to my desk and finish off my work day. It's been quite the day. Coming back from a few days off, it's amazing. I just have to keep going. I just have to keep going with catch up whenever I leave because my work doesn't get done. So anyway, that's it for the daily dose, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for this edition of the Daily Dose. I really appreciate it. Ben will be dropping a video tomorrow morning. It is about his weekend in Southern California, and my sister may be a part of that vlog as well. So let's see what happens, but it's going to be about his experience in Southern California. Not just Disneyland this time, but they had some fun doing some experiences, and I'm sure the video is going to be very fun. It usually is. Ben does a great job. So everyone, thank you so much for joining me. You'll see Ben tomorrow morning with his edition of Life with Ben at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, and I'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern with another edition of the Daily Dose of Disney. In the meantime, everyone, have a very magical evening and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Bye, everyone.